Let's talk about the Thursday night game. Speaking of the Eagles right now are what? 4-point underdogs. No, 4-point favorites. Majority of the money, majority of the bets coming in on the Eagles. The Eagles, to me, 2 weeks in a row now, played the Steelers hard with no real, they are banged up. They are not
Yeah.
playing at full strength. Played the Ravens really hard, and the Ravens are a team, they should have blown the Eagles out. And the Ravens are a team that generally doesn't play down to their competition. So what I saw from the Eagles this week, especially like when it seemed like they were deactivating players and sort of giving in, just getting ready to play to win the division on Thursday night, um, really, really impressive.
Yeah, and if you haven't hopped on Twitter in the last 24 hours, did you know that the NFC East is 5-18-1? People keep posting how bad the NFC East is. We all watch football. We know. Jesus, man. As an Eagles fan, I can't take it. It's like, dude, I know I'm in the worst division of football. Please stop posting that it's 5-18-1. We get it. They suck. Yeah, man, I don't know. It's one of those where it's like I want to fade the Giants because they just won, but like, did they really win that game? They kind of got outplayed by Washington, and they luckily got a strip sack, and they went for two at the end there. For some reason, I don't get why Washington didn't trust their defense to get a stop and go to overtime and then maybe get the ball back. And all you need is a field goal to win it. So, I don't know. Like the numbers, this should be 3. Like the Eagles aren't better right now than the Giants. They just lost Ertz. They just lost Miles Sanders. Those are two of their best weapons. When I watch game film, people really hate. Like I'm an Eagles fan. I hate Ertz right now. He's horrible. But when you watch the film, he's bracketed. He's always double covered. He's the only guy in our entire offense that gets double coverage. So we lost Ertz right now. We just lost another backup offensive lineman. So we have Kelsey, our one center is our starter from the season. Like this is the worst offensive line I've ever had as an Eagles fan. This is like insanity. So I'm going to fade the public on a Thursday night. I'm going to take the points for the Giants, and I don't feel great about it, but I just think this is situational, and you're getting a good number here with 4. So I'm on the Giants.
We are not putting this game in the contest. Like
Yeah.
psychologically, we cannot go into the weekend potentially 0-1 because we lost the Giants. Like find creative ways to because I loved the Giants this weekend. I think they were like a 2.5, and we had projections with them as 4.5-point favorites. And I loved them, and I'm like, I'm just done betting the Giants. Like they find too many creative ways to not cover.
Daniel Jones just isn't good. So yeah, rolling the dice here by backing them, but right, we're not putting this in.
Let's move on to the Sunday games, the 1 p.m. games. Immediately, this first game on the board, the Packers visiting the Texans. The Texans 3.5-point underdogs at home. A win in Romeo Crennel's first game. A disgusting, inevitable loss against the spread. The second they didn't convert that 2-point conversion to go up 8 with a minute left, every Texans better knew it was over. I texted you immediately and was just like, this is disgusting. This is a game that I think a lot of wise guys are going to peg because I feel like they're going to see an advantage in the Texans at 3.5 if you're getting that hook. What do you think?
Nah.
Really?
No, man. Like I told you, I was cool with taking Romeo Crennel like the first game, but I told you I was going to fade him the rest of the year. And like I was one of those assholes on the Titan side that won that bet that shouldn't have won it. But it's just like,
you fucker.
This guy, man, I don't want to back him. And now this is a sharp number, like a home dog after a bad loss like that. But the way I'm looking at the Packers is they're good against these not that good teams, and they don't have the defense to stop Rodgers on Texas. So, yeah, this could be a shootout, and that's why you might be getting a good number with that 3. But I have this at 4.5, so I think I'm getting a good number on Green Bay right now. So I'll be on the Green Bay side, but I can't fault people for taking Houston here.
Wow, this makes me – my instinct would be automatically to bet the Texans. And as you know, I'm trying to grow. I'm trying to evolve. I'm trying to use the conversations we have to make myself a better person.
Well, I'm not always going to be right, buddy.
I know you're not going to be right, but you're bringing a different sensibility and perspective to me that I would have looked at this. It's almost like last week in the Lions game. I wasn't even thinking about the Lions. Like in a million years, I wouldn't look at the Lions as road favorites and be comfortable betting it. But we had a long conversation about it. You felt really strongly about it. Chris Raybon talked about it on the Action Network podcast with Stuckey, and he wrote about it on actionnetwork.com. Plug, plug, plug. All
Thanks,
good
Chris.
stuff. Yeah. And like, it all made sense. And so a game that I wouldn't have even considered was now a game that was sort of in my top 5, right? And we put it in the contest. I bet it separately. So now all of a sudden I got to think about this.
Yeah, I'm trying to break you off these old school things where people would be like, "Oh, this is the sharp play of the week." Like, "Oh, the Jets last week, that was a sharp play of the week." It's like, who are these sharps? Like the sharps I know, like the dudes who really do bet on football, they're not taking that. Like maybe they'll take the Jets this week if it's Sam Darnold. That's a good number, a divisional game. But like with Flacco, it's just they throw the sharp tag out there like it's because they say the money or they see a bad team that people are betting on. It's just like, no, that's just people backing the Jets because they didn't believe in Miami. It wasn't sharp money coming in on them. But I don't know. This week, I definitely get what you mean. Like this Green Bay one, I might be stepping in. Like I stepped in it last week with the Rams going against the 49ers, which was just a classic spot where the 49ers, the line had moved 7 points. You always take the team that the line moved against at home. And I didn't because I just trust what I was watching. So I'm with you, man. I could be wrong here in Houston, but I do like the Packers in this situation against a Texans defense that cannot stop anybody. And they haven't played well against good teams this year.
For the record, I didn't listen to you on the Rams, and I went all in on the Niners. Not only did I go all in on the Niners, I bet them on the money line. So that was a pretty good play, Millman. Nice job. Well, thanks, Simon. All right, so let's skip the Packers and Texans. Cowboys, the Washington football team. I don't know if there's that much to say. Like, I would not put this as a top 5 game unless you're looking at this and you're saying, whoa, Nelly, I got this rated at like Washington -3.
Yeah, if you got money to burn, I took Washington and the Giants to win the division last week. I think it was like I think the Giants were they might have been plus like 4,000 or maybe plus 3,000, and Washington was plus 1,500 maybe. I don't know. It's tough. It's tough here where I really like the Washington football team because I think that with Kyle Allen, they're not as bad as everyone thinks because their defensive front's so good. And the Cowboys, their biggest weakness right now on offense is their offensive line. So people out there betting, I get the bounce back spot for the Cowboys. Like they'll be much better than they were in that primetime game where they just couldn't stop turning the ball over. And they'll have some regression on that part. But I don't know. The way I'm looking at this number, it just feels like I should just take the money line with Washington. Just trust that D line is going to get way more stops and turnovers, and they're the better team than the Cowboys are right now. So I'm on the Washington side.
Well, look, you already missed the best of the number. The game opened at
100%.
3. It's now at DraftKings. The game opened. Washington is a 3-point dog. Washington is now a 1.5-point dog. And this is a classic Pro-Joe game. Like the majority of the bets are coming in on the Cowboys. The majority of the money is coming in on Washington. That's why the line moved. So you're right. If you like this game, just bet the money line. Like that's it. It's probably what right now? It's probably like plus 120 maybe.
Right.
So just bet the money line and that'll be that. By the time the game kicks off, if you haven't bet it already, you might be getting that kind of – it might be even anyway. So next game. Lions, Falcons. This is really interesting because you've got two teams that did so well in the past week. The Falcons, to those of us who were paying attention, we were on them from the second Dan Quinn was fired. The Lions we talked about. We loved them last week against a very bad Jags team. I think the Falcons fall off a cliff this week, and you're giving me at DraftKings right now, the Falcons are 3-point favorites. The money is coming in on Detroit. The bets are coming in on the Falcons. I like the Lions in this game. Call me crazy.
Oh, man, it's hard. You're probably right. If the number is at 3, I don't hate taking the Lions here, but I just prefer to take the Falcons at home against the Detroit team that just won on the road. It's really hard to win back-to-back road games, especially when you're not that great of a team. And I'm with you that the Falcons should be falling off a cliff here. But I'm more on the side that if Julio's playing and they got Ridley, they're going to be starting a groove here. I could see them pulling off a couple random wins here. So I'm going to back the Falcons here at home against the Detroit team that's riding high off a blowout win.
God damn it, Simon.
I'm sorry.
Like,
I'm so sorry.
I come in with like really thoughtful analysis and seeing how the bookmakers, the public is going to look at this game and feel differently about these teams. And I'm looking at it from a psychological perspective, and you're giving me logic like, wait a second, the Falcons actually could be getting better right now. And the Lions are a bad team who beat up on a worse team. Now they're going to play a really good offense. All right.
I know.
I'm putting the Falcons down, but I don't know if I want to put them in the contest. Let me just say that.
It's hard to argue with that.
We're going to come back. We're going to come back to it because how do I not want to bet the Bills as 15.5-point favorites against the Jets?
It's up to 15.5.
What is that? Hold on. Maybe it's 13.5. Maybe I just can't see.
Okay, I saw it 12.5.
All right, 13.5. I'm sorry.
Okay, there we go.
All right. All right.
Yeah, so last week we had a lot of really smart people reach out to us and tell us how it was dumb to take the Dolphins and that we should just take the Patriots or the Colts in our survivor pool. But lucky for us, we're a couple idiots and we just stayed with the Dolphins because I want to keep playing it simple, like not overthinking this. In our survivor pools, we're going to be taking the Bills because they're off 2 losses, which, yeah, you could say, hey, maybe it's steamrolling right now and they're just a team that's falling apart. But I think this is the perfect opportunity for them to bounce back on weaker competition. So love the Bills in survivor pool. I love the Bills here on the number, especially if it's Flacco. And if Sam Darnold comes back, we'll just move off of it because they are due to cover. No, like people keep putting up the statistic. I think the Raiders were the last team in like 2003 or something like that went 0-8 against the spread to start the year. Right now we have 2 teams that haven't won against the spread in the Cowboys and the Jets. So I say we just keep riding the train and we put the Bills in our competition. Like this number doesn't scare me. If it stays under 14, I'm not too worried about this Bills number, especially against Flacco.
Wow. Bills 2 touchdowns. That's got to be unprecedented. Bills as 2 touchdown favorites on the road, and you want to put that in the freaking contest. That, by the way, that right there is going to cost a reviewer some money. Because that's going to be the one that we lose. But I'll do it. I like your gumption.
Yeah, we've missed out, man. We should have just been fading the Jets every week. And every week we keep saying these lines are too high. We can't go against the Jets here like they're due. And every week they just keep getting blown out. So I say we just keep riding the train, man. Yeah, I mean, it literally cannot miss right now. As long as Flacco's a quarterback, that team is horrible.
That has the feeling. It has the vague feeling of a bet your balls pick, but I don't think it's going to be it. I think we got to find a different one. Panthers visiting the Saints. Panthers are 7.5-point road underdogs visiting New Orleans. I don't have a read on this game right now from a public perception. You know, I like to get in the minds of the bettors. That's what I do psychologically. I'm like a Svengali. I don't have a read on this one. What's your number say?
What are the public betting on this this Saints game? It's 7.5, right? Or is it 7?
It's 7.5, and it's pretty split. It's 52-48 Saints. The money coming in on the Panthers right now.
And I think that's sharp money because I'm with them.
Oh, it's definitely sharp money.
Yeah, I like that it's 7.5. Where we've seen from this Saints team that they're not that hard to defend. I mean, if you take away Kamara and you stack the lineup, I know Michael Thomas supposed to come back, but with no fans for the Saints, it's really affected them at home. We've seen how they haven't played great at home so far, and as long as that number stays at 7.5, and we get Teddy Bridgewater, who's just unbelievable covering as a dog. I like taking this. I like taking them here. I got this number at 6, so we're getting 1.5 of value. I like Carolina here.
All right. I'll put it in. Listen, we've done great. We've done great betting on the Panthers in underdog situations. We
Yeah.
wisely bet against them as favorites this week. I got no problem with this. No problem. I don't feel like that is both either bet your balls or a hornet's nest.
I got your bet the balls pick, but you're not going to like it.
All right. All right. Bengals. This is already making me nervous. Bengals, Browns. This game was a remember Joe Pesci? Remember Joe Pesci in Lethal Weapon 3? He'd go to the drive-thru, be like, they fuck you at the drive-thru. They give you the wrong food. They fuck you at the drive-thru. I feel like this was a fuck you at the drive-thru game. Like the Browns, the last time these teams played on a Thursday night, they just let the Bengals drive right through everybody and score that touchdown that meant nothing to anybody except those of us betting on the game.
Yeah.
Now the Browns are 3.5-point favorites coming off a crappy game, getting totally exposed in the exact spot we thought they would against the Steelers. That game, like, might have been the easiest game to handicap this season so far.
Yeah, and it's funny. Everything you said is so true about the Browns. But situationally here, I'm probably going to end up taking them. I have to know more about what's going on with Baker. I don't know if his ego's hurt or if his ribs are hurt. I don't know which is the truth right now. But it seems like there's a lot of turmoil over the Bengals. They got Geno Atkins complaining about the way they're using him. You got A.J. Green saying trade me on the sideline. I know Joe Cool has been great, and he's had these teams in these games. But if they don't have Joe Mixon, that makes them very one-dimensional. And what we know about the Browns is the Browns can run the ball. Kareem Hunt, he might have had a down game last week, but that was more situational. They were just down big early. So even if it's Case Keenum, I don't hate taking the Browns here. I think we'd get a better number too, because I don't see a big difference really between him and Baker. So I like the Browns here. We don't have to put them in though right now because we can wait for that injury report.
You know what I thought was really interesting? When the Ravens played the Bengals a couple of weeks ago, the announcers made a note. Patrick Queen nailed Joe Burrow a couple times, and the announcers made a point of saying that those two guys, when they played at LSU together, did not get along. And I thought that was surprising because I thought Joe Burrow was one of those guys who everybody loved, which just made me wonder what could the situation be between Joe Burrow and Patrick Queen?
Well, Chad, you're going to learn in life. Not everyone's going to like you, bud. Some people just look at your face and they're going to say, I don't like this guy, Chad. And it's someone with an ugly face. I go through that a lot. Nah, man. I mean, people are just different backgrounds, different situations. I think Joe's probably the man. But, Joe might have done something wrong to this kid as a freshman. This kid for the rest of his life is like, I don't like that kid. He might be the best quarterback I ever played at LSU. I don't like him. So I wouldn't take too much from that. I think this that's funny you said, though, because I did see those hits, and I was like, damn, you look like you put a little mustard on that. That makes sense now that you said that. That's funny because he was all over that game, Patrick Queen, another guy the Eagles passed over for a wide receiver that's not playing right now. Thank you.
Won't surprise you to know that there's never been anybody who doesn't like me. Steelers on the road, 2-point favorites over the Titans right now. 2-point favorites, the undefeated Steelers against the Titans. That, my friend, is what I call walking into a hornet's nest.
Chad, what side do you like here? As your honest opinion, just looking at it, what side do you like?
Very first instinct?
Yeah.
I like the Titans.
Right. That's why I think we should go Steelers. It's I feel like that, I looked at it too, and that's what I thought to myself. I was like, man, I like the Titans here. The Steelers are so due for a loss. And Big Ben always has these crazy, sloppy, letdown games. But when I watch Pittsburgh, they're keeping it so simple for a quarterback that's been in the NFL for feels like 20 years. He has one of the quickest release times on the season where he's just making first or second quick reads on these quick passes and just getting it into his players' hands. And with the way they're humming right now with Claypool and the Titans coming off a huge emotional, close, fought game in their division. I just like the Steelers here. I think there's going to be a nice little letdown spot for the Titans here, especially the fact that they haven't lost yet on the season. I trust the Steelers here on the road, and I like that we're getting a number under 3 still. So I'll take Pittsburgh.
You don't have to convince me hard to bet on the Steelers. I will go completely 180 on you right now, as I tend to do after you've spoken. But the other thing you can do is look at the Titans and how they've won their games. They haven't looked amazing. They beat a Bills team after they were off for 2 weeks. The Titans were. They barely beat a Texans team that probably is not very good, according to you.
And should have won.
And should have won that game outright. And like they haven't looked amazing this year. Like sometimes they're 5-0 in spite of themselves, or they're 5-0 because Mike Vrabel just might be a genius coach who knows how to manufacture extra minutes in a game. And anybody who went on Twitter and saw sort of yesterday, Vrabel was trending. On Monday, Vrabel was trending because people realized, it might have been Warren Sharp who recognized this first, and that's where I saw it. He put up a video that showed Mike Vrabel sending a player in on a 2nd and 1, sending the Texans had the ball, 2nd and 1, 3 minutes left. Mike Vrabel sent a player in, so they had 12 men on the field, and the defensive captain for the Titans looked at him like, "What are you doing?" But they got the 5-yard penalty. Vrabel, his assumption was they're going to get this first down. It's going to waste more time on the clock. Why not just give him the first down, save the time, restart the downs? And he ended up having more time to go down the field and score. That is genius clock management. That is Belichickian. Obviously, he played with the Pats forever, similar to what he did in the playoffs last year when he was sort of managing the clock so wisely. So maybe they're just manufacturing wins and the Steelers are a better team. So yes, let's go with the Steelers. I not only have I come around completely from thinking the Titans were my first instinct, this is an automatic to me. Automatic play on the Steelers.
There you go.
I am so weak. This is why people like me, though. I come around. I'm not inflexible.